Good afternoon, everybody. It's February the 3rd. I just want to do a quick recap of today's session, just with some ICT concepts, just to give you guys an idea of how the day planned out. So, again, we want to be looking at liquidity, right? And what happened between 4 o'clock and 4:30 yesterday is that we had this, right? This long range. And what do we like to know? What do we know about price is that it likes to rebalance, right? So you can see at no point did we get above this equilibrium point into a discount, then run the market down. So what are we looking for? We're looking for something within inside this range as our target for today's price action, right? Because we want price to rebalance. So we got in during the pre-market London session, we got these relative equal highs purged, and then the market sold off on the data drop, which was horrendous. But what do we know about horrendous data? It is there to absolutely mess with retail, right? So retail are thinking bad data, market's going to plummet, right? But what do we know about market makers? They want to cannibalize your money. So if retail, the general average Joe, believes market's going to go down, you have better bet your bottom dollar that the market's going to do the opposite, because it will, right? So why do I have this area marked? For those who have watched my video yesterday, you would have noticed that I wanted this fair value gap to fill, right? So that was on this liquidity run, right? So this whole run here, I wanted this to be rebalanced. There was a fair value gap within inside that, right? So what did this tie into? This exact level tied into the daily gap fill, right? And what do we know about volume imbalances? Volume imbalances like to fill. The higher the time frame, the more powerful that volume imbalance is, right? So price did eventually fill that during the 8:30 and 9:30 window to a T before expanding out. Now, some people could have seen this fair value gap in here as a potential target, and honestly, it's a fantastic trade if you took that. I know there's one guy in my Discord did exactly this. Fantastic trade, yeah, congrats to him. But he was angry he didn't get the full capture. Wow. But yeah, look, if you missed this, what do? You wait for a second entry. If you believe that if you have a strong bias that you believe that target is going to go and reach this OTE zone, right, this target zone, and we haven't fulfilled it, then you have to stay on track, right? So we're looking for pullbacks for it to eventually go and reach that target, right? So what do we have formed in this leg up? We have an order block, right? And the order block being the top of that, the last down close candle before the leg up, and then we have consequential encroachment, which is 50% of that body of that wick, right? So that would have been your safe entry for your second entry, right? Targeting those the OTE zone that I've just mentioned previously, right? So that is the morning session. I did post some tweets out. I posted it out in Discord that it was going to rip off the open, because we had filled the daily gap, and we'd also filled the fair value gap on the void, which was set on Wednesday, right? So we then had this expansion out. This gap was left open, which is great. That's a very strong bullish sign. And we'll see how it turned into some form of resistance later. But we saw price gradually move up to our sort of terminus point, and there was an argument for it to continue running higher. I still have 4225 earmarked because of this volume imbalance. So whether that happens this week or something crazy later in the after session, who knows? But probably later next week or the following week, or at some point that volume imbalance is going to get filled. I'm telling you now, it's going to get filled. So what do we have in this? What is all this marked out here, right? So it's a little bit messy. So as you guys know, I won't trade anything from sort of 11 through to 1:30. So I'm looking at price and what is price doing. And ultimately, the best entry came during lunch. That's how it is sometimes, but I just don't trade during lunch. But I'll tell you why it failed. So if what we know is that wicks are gaps, right? And if we believe it's going to be a tight range day and it's not going to it's not going to reach that terminus, price is starting to get a little bit sticky. We can see this is just, there's no real aggressive expansion of price. It's horrible, creepy, pricey price action. We're automatically then looking for reasons for this to reverse and do the opposite, right? So consequential encroachment forms on wicks because wicks are gaps, right? And we are assuming that this is then going to form a swing high, so a low, a high, and a low. This is a swing high, right? So consequential encroachment of that swing high candle was this level here, and you can see price struggled to get above it. This one above it here is on the 15 min, which I had marked out as a last stop in case it decided to do something crazy and run up a little bit higher. I had consequential encroachment on what I had seen as a rejection block, right? So those who don't know a rejection block, I'm going to do a complete series on ICT concepts, but for now, I know a lot of learners are visual, and this will give you a good representation of that, right? So rejection block is when you have a strong wick candle that takes out a lot of liquidity that has pulled together, right? And you have a big wick body through. It's either a doji or a tombstone or a shooting star candle is left behind, right? Price would like to trade back in, usually into the equilibrium point, right? So I had that marked as my last point of call for it to remain bullish, right? So if it went above that, I would have been looking for sort of a a continuation of bullishness, right? My general thesis was that I was still targeting 4225 today, so I didn't actually take a trade after lunch. I wanted it to stay above this fair value gap, which I wanted to see turn into some form of support, but it absolutely chopped through that. So I wanted to see the 130 hour go around here to us continue higher, but it fell below, right? And I didn't want to get caught near this chop, so I did take a little 10-point trade later on, which I can show you in a minute. But yeah, this was the entry. It was a rejection of the 1 hour consequential encroachment of the wick, right, to form a swing high. That was your entry during lunch. And what was it targeting? It targeted this low, and then ultimately these equal lows, which are formed at 10 o'clock, right? So we have come back down into this fair value gap where we found some form of support. This is also, again, consequential encroachment of this order block found that was set at 925. And then we've just had some horrible choppy price action. If you can scalp this all you like using order block theory and fair value gaps and volume imbalances, and I took a little 10 handle, right? I keep saying I did, so I've got to dig it out now. You guys aren't going to believe me, right? So what did I take? I took this trade, right? So 460. So I took 460, where are you at? Believe. At 615. God, that time is well off. That's not the right time. Yeah, so I took it here, which was consequential encroachment of that fair value gap, which I believe to be a form of resistance, and then I just ran it down, and I just took my 10 handles, right? Very quick scalp, nothing crazy, but yeah, just a little exercise. See that I took the trade, and just recapping this price action here during lunch. So if we believe that the market was bullish, right, and bearish, sorry, we're looking for more than one confluence, right, in my view. So we have this price leg down. We're looking for it to retrace into the OTE zone. What do we have inside this OTE zone? We have this consequential encroachment on the 1 hour wick, and that would have been your entry short. For you to then run down to take these lows. So yeah, that was my recap of today. Very choppy, very sloppy day actually. I think the news that came out with this the payroll data has confused the market a little bit, and we're just stuck in this internal range. But not the sort of expansion of price I thought we would get. But nonetheless, there were some good opportunities within there if you took them. So as always, if you guys liked this video, please give me a like and a comment, a share, get this word out there that I'm putting my heart on my sleeve and giving you everything that I know. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care. Cheers. Bye.